Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about the letter I. I is a vowel, and vowels make two sounds. So I makes the first sound, and it goes, itchy. You try it, itchy. And it also says, I, like I am happy. I am sad. I am miserable. Or I am angry. You try it. I am what? What are you? I am crazy. You try it. I am crazy. So that is a fun thing to do. Remember, itchy, and I. So the sign language for I is you take all your fingers down and put up your pinky, and that is the letter I. But if you put it against your chest, it means I, like I am Miss Mary, or I am a preschool student. So you can try that. Our animal that we're going to learn this week is an iguana. Iguana. An iguana is kind of like a lizard, and it is a reptile. An iguana likes it to be hot, and it likes it to be sunny. The reason why is because an iguana can't change his body temperature. If he is outside, he can't stay warm. But if it was in the winter, he couldn't stay warm. He needs the sunshine and the heat to keep him alive. If he went to a place where it was cold, he would probably die. That's what's so silly about this book that we read, because we read a story called Iguana on Ice. So here we have Iggy Iguana, and he lives on an island. Do you think he could survive on an island? Yes, because he is nice and warm and hot, but he's kind of miserable. So he dreams of doing cold things, like floating in an inner tube in some cold water, or maybe eating some ice cream, or going ice skating. Those all start with I. He also dreams of floating on icebergs or licking icicles. But remember, an iguana wouldn't survive if it lived in the ice. Well, this story was kind of silly because the iguana had a cousin that lived in Iceland. And he took an airplane ride and went to Iceland. And he loved it because he ate ice cream, and he went ice skating, and he floated on an iceberg, and he ate icicles, and even slept in an igloo. So those are all words that start with I. We talked about how this is not a real story. This is a pretend story, because if an iguana was ice skating, he would probably die. And I don't think iguanas know how to ice skate either. For your binder page today, you're going to put your name on your paper, put your name. Then you're going to draw your letter I's. How we draw a letter I is we have our kindergarten line. Remember, our kindergarten line is what helps us to write really well for kindergarten. Here we go. There's our kindergarten line. Our capital I is a line down, and then it has a hat and some feet. You see that? Now you have to be careful though, because sometimes when the computers write the I, they draw a I just like that. Just a straight line. Like, look in this book. Do you see their I? It doesn't have a hat and it doesn't have feet, but it's still a capital I. The lowercase I is in the downstairs, and it's a short line with a dot floating on top. Watch again. Line down with a dot floating on top. Here's the letter I. Remember, I says itchy, and I. How you can remember is iguana and ice. You're going to circle your eyes down here. It says, iguana itches all day, especially on the ice where he likes to play. Then color your iguana. Now this is where a fun activity for you to be. You need your mom's help and you need to get an ice cube tray. If you don't have an ice cube tray, maybe just a bowl, and you put a little bit of blue paint in it and water, and then put it in the freezer. Do you know what happens to water in the freezer? It turns into ice cubes. So you're going to take your ice cube and you're going to paint with your ice cube. Now this one just has a little bit of paint. Let's see if I can so I had to use a marker today, but you're going to put some. You could do this too if you don't have paint. You put a little bit of blue marker on there, then take your ice cube and you're going to paint all over and make it icy and cold. So you're going to melt that ice cube on the ice. He will be cold. So that's our binder page. Our puppet for our iguana looks like this. He's got his scales and his mouth, and he sticks out his tongue. He's kind of like a frog and eats things with his tongue. And then give him some spots that he can have. So here is our iguana. A fun activity that you can do this week is you can make an igloo. You can use ice cubes to form your igloo, or you can make an ice castle. Use those ice cubes and build an ice castle. And if you get an opportunity, they have really fun ice castles up in Midway, in Utah. It's about an hour away, but maybe your moms and dads could take you to see the ice castles. If you can't go there, maybe your mom and dad will let you look up some pictures on the internet. So that is letter I, and I hope you do a good job with letter I. See you next time.